Hey guys, welcome to Celia's Playlists. Today I am here with my boy Jay Reaper, who is a punk, emo, rap. There's a lot of things here. We're gonna figure it out. But Jay Reaper is an artist from Chicago, and I am so excited because Jay Reaper is one of the first people that I met on my online journey on Threads. So we're going to talk a bit about what kind of music Jay Reaper plays, what kind of music I would say Jay Reaper likes, because there's a bunch of different things in there. And then also we're going to talk about Threads and things along those lines. So Jay Reaper, how's it going?
What's poppin', Celia? Happy to be here. How's it going?
Happy to have you. I'm so excited to have you because you are one of the people that I met during my like viral Threads journey. So like I
That
want
was
to
insane.
that was a weird time, but like I would love to like, eventually get into that lore in this conversation. But Jay Reaper, tell us a little bit about you and then just tell us a little about you.
All right. Well, obviously, I'm from the south side of Chicago, born and raised. I do a little bit of everything. It's generally like emo rap, emo hip hop, if you want to generalize it, but there's a lot of like pop punk influence there. There's a lot of, just all around, just different types of musical styles that I've listened to over the last 30 years of my life that's kind of like encompassing to this moment. So that's where I'm at.
I love that because and I'm glad I wore this shirt today because this shirt is like we're in the same vibe and I love that you wore a one piece shirt.
Of course, I
Um
had to.
I was a big like emo kid in high school. Like I saw my friend Gary, who's a childhood friend, like the other day, and he threw on like MCR and Green Day, and I was like,
Uh,
"Yo, today's gonna be a great day."
For sure. I was scrolling and one of my friends on TikTok, he made a video and I didn't realize it, but I guess from first to last dropped another song. And I was just like, yo, that's crazy.
I
I
feel
want
like
to listen.
everyone's coming back. Everyone's coming
Yes.
back. So I guess you're in like the right avenue to get all of us pop punk kids and us emo kids like excited.
Oh, of
So
course.
tell me a little bit about like, your writing process because I want to hear the writing process for like pop punk music or like your writing process for that because I feel like pop punk music and like emo music is I love this style and I love the way that the songs are put together because they're so memorable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. For me, I don't necessarily start with lyrics per se,
Hmm.
nor do I even start with melodies. First thing I like to do, I just like to find a good beat. Most of my beats that I find are either like guitar, like heavy guitar presence, or like the way that the drums are. They're not typical like rap drums or trap drums, like not the typical like like stuff like
I
that.
was just
So
gonna say the
yeah,
hi-hat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I like non-traditional style of like hip hop, like rap beats. And then from there, I just kind of take what I've learned across like the 20 years of my musical journey of like playing pop punk metal and all these other genres and just kind of like experimenting and figuring out like what melodies actually work and like how to like keep that same like I guess like powerful like annotation that pop punk brings and like that sadness that emo brings, but still being able to like not make it like so like that. Like it's I like to be different. I like to break molds. I don't like to stay in one spot too much, which is why like all my songs are not typically all sounding the same. You'll have stuff that's like pretty typical like trap, hip hop, and then you'll have like stuff that's like dude, this could be an actual band playing this song. Who fucking knows? But so that's kind of how I approach my stuff. I don't really lyrics and all that will come later, but mostly it's what matters the most to me is how the beat sounds and how the beat makes me feel. That's how I write my music.
I love that. And I have a feeling that we're kind of cut from the same cloth because of your answer. Because, like, when I was in high school, like I said, I was a Fall Out Boy, Green Day, Paramore kid. And I feel like you can see that in some of my style now, and
I
especially
knew
like
that from the beginning.
what gave that away? The first set that I did when I did my photo project matches your shirt right now.
I know.
So I
I
think
keep
it's
up
fun.
on you. Don't worry, girl. I keep up. I keep up.
I feel like
or at least I try to.
Well, I appreciate it. I feel like that area of like rock and pop punk, like I feel like it developed over time, and I feel like it started out with like that metal influence, and then
Hmm.
that like rebellion with like think Green Day, American Idiot. Like
Yup.
it built up to that. It went with through the punk. It went through all of the heavier stuff, and then in like the 2000s, that's when it started having that more pop influence.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like I grew up around this kind of music and it like is making my heart sing that like it's coming back into style. Not that it ever left style, but like do
I
you
actually disagree. I actually think emo and like pop punk took the backseat for a while.
exactly.
It got kind of like big like during COVID, like during 2020 when TikTok started to pop off and like
Mhm.
Magnolia Park, Honey Crush, like all of them started utilizing it and bringing it to the forefront again.
Mhm.
But I don't think nostalgia was really a factor these last couple of years. And I think right now you're starting to see people like, oh, nostalgia wise, like I kind of want this kind of feel. Like I work retail, so I see it all the time. Nostalgia is
Mhm.
coming back super huge in the next year or two, which is why I'm like, this is great for me because like emo rap has been dead for like years.
Mhm.
So like I'm like, great, we can bring this back to the forefront and we can do it, even better.
I feel you. I feel you because I like as you know, I spend a number of time on the internet. I do. There's it's there. And I feel like you could see those like little vibrations in different areas and different influences and also with what artists decide to pop up at what time. If
Hmm.
that makes sense. So it's been interesting. And you could also see it with like advertising. At the time of this filming, like everything just turned gold on the internet because the Olympics started. Everything is now gold. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know my whole like because I do like visuals and stuff for the
Uh
job that
huh.
I work at, and all we have right now in the front is like Olympic stuff, and I was just like, I'm tired of this. We've had this for 2 months. I don't care anymore. Like,
That's early though, but like since the Olympics hit, like it started like a couple days ago. All of a sudden everything's changed, and then
hmm.
eventually we're gonna go into Halloween, and then
Oh, I already
eventually
got
we're gonna go
Halloween
into
pajamas at my
Christmas.
store.
Amazing, but
Yes,
that's because like they start so early. But
I
that really
know.
goes to show that like that nostalgia factor they know is something that's gonna sell.
Yes, 100%. I'm all about nostalgia.
Oh, so am I. So am I. That's one of the reasons why I love what I do, like especially with music videos, because I did a music video for Overkill, and I basically got to do a Scream movie. It
Oh,
was so awesome, and I was like, "This is perfect for me." So
eventually I'll
like,
do a music video. Eventually.
call me.
I got
Um,
once I'm able to get out to New York and I got some stuff planned, yeah, for sure. I got a homie over here. He started his own video program like business, but
Sweet.
he's so booked out that I'm just like, well, let me know. But until then, I'll figure something out. So I've been trying to study on like that's why I've been like watching your stuff like recently a lot because like I'm still trying to learn how to do it myself. That's the biggest thing is like video wise. I hate doing it myself. I hate looking at myself in the camera. I hate looking at it. I don't want to see myself. So that's why I'm like, if I can pay someone to do it, I'd rather do that. But I'm still trying to learn.
I feel that. Maybe this is the conversation we're supposed to have in your episode. We'll talk a little bit more about your music, but also I think that this would be a really good topic to talk about because this is something that I run into all the time with my clients.
Hmm.
So, essentially like this day and age and you know this, we have to promote ourselves and as you see I've been
It's
modeling it.
bad. It's
Be-
insane.
exactly. So like every time you would need to put out a new piece of content, like not content, a new piece of music, you need to put out content around
There's
it,
so
correct?
much. There's so much. I can't even tell you like the cost for me to even like just get the song out is
Mhm.
already substantial enough that like thinking about like content and doing like all this other stuff.
Mhm.
I can't imagine all these newer artists who are just starting. Like I feel for them. It's daunting, it's terrifying. Like this wasn't how it was like 10 years ago. Like it was so much easier to like just go out and start. And now it's just like you number one that you have to have quality now. Like you can't even just put out a demo and be like, "Yo, here's what we're doing." It's either all or nothing now, and like that's scary to me because it's like I'm just kind of glad I'm in that position to where like I don't have to worry about that too much. But like it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, I've done what I can, but now I have to do more. Otherwise, I'm stuck in the same spot, and I hate being stuck in the same spot. hate it.
I totally understand that. And as both someone that works with artists, but also as a content creator, I felt the same. And that's why I had to figure out like a system that worked for me because I tried all of the systems that were supposed to work. And maybe that's where we are the rebellion pigs. Because I was like, this isn't working, and I switched what I was doing, and that's something that you kind of have to do. You have to switch what you're doing so that you could keep relevant. And I
Hmm.
think that's why we get along so well because you do that with your music, but I do that with my content. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I love your the way that you're just out of the box, and like you're not withholding information. You're like, hey, I understand this is the problem. Here's how to do it. You don't have to email me for consultation or pay me for
Mm-hmm.
this information. Like that's why I love you so much. Is like you're not out here just for the money. Like you're out here to help people grow. And I think that's what's missing in the music community right now is like people do not want to help people grow because it's so there's so many of us, but there's not that community anymore, and that's what I'm trying to bring back essentially is like community because
Me
you
too.
can't you can't get anywhere without a community. So at this point we got to rebuild.
100%. And the way that I'm going about it is like, yeah, like if someone wants to pay me, I'll sit down with them and I'll actually do a consultation with them and I'll help them figure out all the details that they need. But sometimes people just need a little bit of information to take and run. Because it's not always about the big thing. Because like,
Right.
not everyone can hire someone to do content every month. Not everyone can hire someone for a music video all the time. But in my opinion, I would rather someone come to me with the big things because the big things are the ones that they need help with. Because, like, if you're doing a story music video and don't have a producer, like, you're gonna miss details, you're gonna miss things, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna whatever. But if it's like, okay, I have my phone and I'm able to do this, but I'm having a quality problem, I could say, buy this thing.
Right.
Or or you see like, okay, I'm trying to do this thing, but I don't have an idea, and then you see like an inspiration of like, okay, I see what they did in this campaign. I like that. I can that's the spark. People need the spark to keep going. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
That's what I've been working on over here. And again, if they want to hire me, I'm here, and I do need money. So hi. Um,
Support my girl, homies.
so,
Support my
but
girl.
thank you, thank you. But again, it's like one of those things where there's such a high demand that I would rather teach people how to do it
Mm-hmm.
than have to physically do it myself.
Oh yeah, because that's that's your time. Like and like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm still not charging for features right now. Like I'm still like
Mm-hmm.
highly debating on it, just because like my time is very valuable and I've worked hard for this sound. And like if they want that sound, I'm gonna have to pay my dude to like do the vocal stuff for me because I don't do that no more. So like they want that sound, like that's a lot of money to like just keep shelling out for like features and stuff. So I'm still like on the edge of like, do I charge or do I just give the features because I want to give back to like the other like artists in the community, but like also it's my time. Like there's a reason why it took me like 3 months to do this album. It's because like I just kept taking on more stuff than I probably should have.
I feel like this is something that a lot of people are going through right now, including myself, and it's about kind of figuring out like what things are worth taking the step towards. So like, I myself like with what I'm doing had to like pull back like kind of the layers of the onion to figure out like, okay, if I say yes to this, is this worth my time, or is it going to bring me more stress and actually take me away from the mission that I'm on? Or is this going to be something that I'm going to have a great time and I'm going to go do? And I feel like that's the difference between like the money projects and the not money projects
Mm-hmm.
in my
Yeah.
book, because sometimes you just want to create with people because you're going to get something else out of it, whether it's like a learning experience or like, it's going to be a really great song or something like that. But then there's other times where it's like, okay, like this person submitted me a music video that's really outside of my style, and like, do I do it? Like, I know it's gonna be a pain, but like, do I do it? So that's like been something that I've been struggling with. How have you been dealing with that?
So what I've recently done, I actually put together a list of artists that like one have supported me since like day one, and
Mm-hmm.
two like artists that I truly like fuck with. Like those are the people that I already told them like they get features for free no matter what. It is what it is. Like you call on me, I'm gonna just show up and do it. But I think for now, like I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm still debating on it because like I understand what it is to not have money to pay someone to do a song because like there's artists like Little Tracy, Vito, like there's so many artists I want to work with, but like I've reached out and they're like $100, $2,000,
Mm-hmm.
500. I'm like, for that, I understand like where they are in their career, but like as an independent artist who's also a dad, I ain't got that kind of money. So I understand what it is when you don't have money, but you want someone on a song. So I'm still like, so I guess I've been telling people it depends on the song for me. So like if I fuck with the song, I'll try, I'll do something. If they don't like it, they don't have to use it. If they like it, they can use it. If they really want me to get it done and like they're like it's a rush job, I need it done by this time, I'm probably gonna charge because like that's forcing me out of my comfort zone, essentially.
I like that delineation. I like that delineation because it's one of those things where like if I could do it on my time, I can do it and I can do it correctly. But if you need it done now, I now have to make time. Is kind of what you just said.
Yeah, 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 100%. Which is why, like, recently, my buddy Sweet Apple, he had a
Mhm.
song, as we there was a falling out with the other artist, and like, he was like, "Oh, can you hop on a song?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, sure, sure." So like after like 2 days of working on my own stuff, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get it started," and then I sent it over for them to mix it, and they were like, "Oh, good, the song comes out next week, or the album drops next week." I was just like, oh shit, I wish you would have told me. I would have got this done like day of.
Mhm.
But like they're my homies. So I was just like, the minute they're like, hey, we need this done ASAP, I'll be like, all right, cool, bet, let's go. Like
I
it's
feel
done
that.
deal.
I feel that. So, let's circle back around because you're talking about being on songs and you're talking about features and you're talking about all of these things. And I
ADHD
know,
at the bits.
oh my God, hi, hello, hello. Um, Guilty also. But that's why my interviews go so well because I don't think of all of these questions ahead of time. I'm just like, what would be interesting? Like, what do
Hmm.
I want to know?
Of course.
And that's how I get like very specific with my questions. So as you were saying, like being on features and doing these things, I know that you self-produce. So tell me a little bit about your creative process when, like, I know you told me you start with the beats and you start to try and look with something for something different. And then what is your like studio process? Are you like hanging out and just jamming? Are you actively writing? Like, what do you?
um, so I don't know how appropriate this is for YouTube. You can cut this
Hey,
out
go
if you
for
want.
it.
I
This is a
smoke
fun show.
I smoke hella weed. Hella weed. So normally if it's like a full day of like writing for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I'll put it on my headphones, I'll listen to the beats like on repeat, and I'll just get high and I'll just start writing lyrics and writing words and just see if anything snaps. Once I kind of have like lyrics written,
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of come back in, I'll load up my FL Studio, I'll put the beat on the track, and I'll just start humming around, just start humming and being like, okay, I kind of like this pattern, I like this melody. And then once I kind of get to that point, I'll start looking through my lyrics and I'm like, okay, let's just say the beat is named like Lost Souls or something like that because the
Mm-hmm.
producer was like, oh, this song is whatever. If I have lyrics that kind of relate to that, I'll kind of like look for those lyrics and kind of start like putting that together because I feel like if a producer feels a song is a certain way, those lyrics kind of for me have to match because like I have to feel that emotion. And if we're talking like if the song's like about like lost souls or something, like I'm not gonna make a song that's like all happy go lucky and like melody sounding and like poppy. Like that's
Yeah.
I can't do that. So that's the general process day in of recording for me. Smoke a lot, write a lot, hope for the best.
Honestly, though, I feel like that's a very valid way about writing. Like, it's getting you out of your headspace, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's getting you into a creative headspace and allowing you to kind of like the way that I think about it is like it you're triggering something to have yourself in a different headspace.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah. I was telling my Discord group that I'm in like a while ago. I personally have to dig really deep down to like write these songs just because like I bottled up all these emotions for the last like 25 plus years of my life
I knew I
And
related to you.
and like for me, it's like now I have to go back. Now mentally, like, yeah, I'm better now, and like I'm stronger now, but like there's still some things that I write about. I'm just like, I was not ready for that. And then I'll go back and I'll smoke like 3 or 4 blunts just to like power through it. And then like at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, this is great. But now I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed.
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. That low key. That's a little bit about how I do my playlisting. Hello, internet. But it's interesting because whenever I'm in that headspace, I can feel where like music is hitting me,
That's
and
what I
then
love. I love
that
about music. That's the best
exactly.
thing.
Because I don't, for someone that doesn't really like understand like music hitting you, like think of when you're at the concert, like at a concert, and you have that bass, and that bass just hits you right in the heart. Like that is what I feel when I'm making my playlists, and that's why I'm able to kind of go like this, and I'm able to split the
Mm-hmm.
playlists based off of that feeling. So it's been a really interesting process to like be able to like figure that out from that point of view to make my playlists. But I can imagine that that's something powerful when you're like writing or when you're considering different beats to see like how it physically makes you feel also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like if I'm gonna play a show and like this is like further like deeper thinking of like when I make like making my songs. If I'm playing a show, like I also determine whether or not I'm gonna play a song like live or not once the song is done. So like if I already know the song is kind of a sad, slower tempo, I already know I'm not gonna play that at my shows just because for me, I'm a pop punk kid. I'm an emo kid. I've been to metal shows all my life. Like I'm used to stage diving. I'm used to getting kicked in the face at 10 o'clock in the morning while drinking a monster. Like that's what I grew up on. So like for me, maybe I'll add like a slower song here or there, like throughout my career, maybe. But like for the most part, most of my sets are gonna just be fun, energetic. So like I'm already determining if I'm playing a song live just by the end of the recording. So that's also what I also like to do. So like music for me is like you said, it's all about like how it makes you feel. So like if I'm playing a show, I don't want to be sad the entire time. I want to jump around. So
Yes.
that's how I think.
That I understand because it's also kind of like how you would influence what songs you would put into a set because like you want to bring people up and then you want to have them have that moment of like, okay, we just thrashed for about like 6 songs. I need to breathe, and then you have like your break song, and then you go into like more. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like it's about like the experience of the crowd at that point.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100. I mean, if we're paying 50, 60, $100 to go to concerts now, I better be fucking blown away at this point because that's a lot of money for me to hurt my back.
Oh, that's funny. Were you a Warp Tour kid?
Oh, 100%. Every Warp Tour since '99,
Oh my gosh, I love that.
except for the last one they did. That one I was just like I
It
couldn't
was it
just
wasn't the same.
I just couldn't justify the money and like the bands that were there. They were all there were. It was in the era where I started phasing away from like true pop punk and emo into like the emo like back into my like emo rap like hardcore phases like back when like Little Peep and Juice World were like still
Mm.
around.
Mm-hmm.
I started reverting back to that after Warped Tour was done because I was just like, well, like none of these bands are like what I want to listen to, so like I'm just gonna revert back. So that's how Jay Reaper ended up coming about because I was just like, fuck it, I still want to make music, but like I can't, I don't want to deal with 5 other people again. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it again. So that's where this all came about.
I feel you. I feel you. So I want to get into like one last thing, and then we'll wrap up because this show is now around this length. This is how long season 2 is. So Jay Reaper, like I want to just like touch on how we met on Threads really quick. Would
Oh
you be able
God.
to tell that the quick version of that story, just like the Threads part of that story?
Quick version is I had a baby. I was just chilling in the hospital, and I released a couple songs for like a couple times, and I think it was around I want to say
November,
November, October.
October, November.
Yeah, I found you, and I was like, just like, okay, I'm gonna keep up because you were a video person. And I was like, eventually, I'm gonna need a video person in my path, right? So I was just like, okay, cool. And then you started doing the playlisting thing for the Void, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna try. And then I forgot what song I put out, and then you were just like, dope. And ever since then, it was just friendship forever.
Yes, and you were actually the inspiration for my captain hat in my beach team.
Aw, my heart.
It was not the same captain hat, but it was a captain hat.
I will eventually get out there and buy you one for sure.
A pirate hat. So, I turned into Luffy, correct?
Yes, my dear Captain Luffy.
Luffy,
Of course.
yeah, sorry. That was a time. Maybe one day I'll actually do like the story of all of that lore from my point of view, but not yet.
Oh my god, that was a crazy playlist. I ain't gonna lie, like after a while, like I was just like, my attention span is so bad that like I tried to listen to it all, I just couldn't. I just couldn't get through it.
So the thing is, I am a shuffle person. And I firmly believe in the Spotify shuffling and the Spotify AI, because the Spotify AI takes your music tastes into a consideration and will pull the things first that you're going to like.
Oh, my music taste is all over the goddamn board.
Oh, yeah,
that's probably why I couldn't do it.
That's why we had problems, because if you were someone that only likes country music, it's going to prioritize the country music. Obviously, it's going to hit different things, but it's going to prioritize the country music.
Right.
So this was basically me building a giant database of artists of around the world, because it's not about the playlist, it's about the database. So while I'm actually going through and making all these playlists, I'm able to go and I'm able to pull people out of the void, and I'm still doing void of the day, like void song of the day. And it was an interesting time. And I also have broken it down into like categories and stuff, so I still plan on keeping in touch with the people from the void, because that is an era. That was an era.
That was an era. Let me tell you, that was fun. That was a fun little time, especially that little Discord.
Oh my god, that was a whole other thing. that is a story for another day. Because like there was a morning show, there was everything, and it was just so much so quickly.
Oh my god, so quick, so
quick. But that's because I've done these types of things before, and I know how to structure all of these things because I've done them all before. That's why I was like, amazing, let's do this. And it's why like a lot of times with my campaigns, I'm so quick to turn things around, because that's a part of advertising. I've been doing advertising for a very long time.
Hell yeah.
On that note, though, that's kind of how we met on Threads. I said at the beginning that we would touch on it, so I made sure we touched on it.
The little lore.
The little lore. Lore is my favorite word. Lore. I love lore. But I'm glad that we got to hang out for a bit. This was a lot of fun.
Yes. We've talked about this many times.
Yes.
Finally glad we got to do this.
100%. So, Jay Reaper, if people want to follow you, if people want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Probably IG. I don't mind connecting one-on-one with y'all. Threads is probably the best if you want like daily life stuff or just updates in general. I'm also on Facebook. Pretty much everything, TikTok, wherever you can find me, except for Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, because fuck that place. But yeah, anywhere else you want to connect with me, hit me up. I'm always down to have some friends. And hey, if you want me to come play to your city, let me know. I'll come through.
Amazing. So thank you for sitting down with me. I'm so excited that I finally was able to have you on the show, and I will see everyone on the next one. Bye,
Adios.
guys.